Good afternoon. Hello, my name is Kate Lucey, and I am the Vice President of Language Science and Communications at HS Dracones. This demonstration is going to come from my politeness theory workshop, which is just a piece of a larger discussion. We're going to jump right into the part where we're talking about how to apply this theory to our daily lives. So we're going to skip over the part of presenting the theory within the realm of sociolinguistics and breaking it down into its component parts. This point in the presentation, we're at what is called the decision tree. Here is when we are talking about what situations do we use this theory of politeness. And it starts with a recognition of what is called a face-threatening act. And we've already discussed a face-threatening act is anything that, it's right in the name, it threatens the other person's face. And we've already talked too about how there's two different types of face: positive face, negative face. Positive face is the other person's desire to be liked, appreciated, and to belong, while their negative face is their desire to be an independent and autonomous individual. We all have those desires at different moments, and they present themselves in different ways. If you're in an interaction, though, where you're going to have to either impinge on someone's right to do what they want to do, or perhaps give them some sort of an indication that they've done something wrong or have fallen outside of the norms or expectations, then that would be an opportunity for you to employ this decision tree. So this is what it looks like. It shows you how you can walk through either doing or not doing the act. You can walk through going on or off the record, which means whether or not you are directly saying something or you're kind of talking around it. The quintessential example is saying, instead of saying, "Please shut the window," you could say, "I wish I had brought my sweater," to get your point across without having to actually tell anyone to do anything, for instance. Or you can get to, if you decide to go on record, you can say it straight without any sugarcoating, or you could try to do it in a way that is more polite. Obviously, most of us subconsciously live in this realm, right, of either talking around things or doing it with what we call politeness. But it's interesting for us to learn, well, what are the rules here and how do I actually go from a understanding that I want to be polite to saying, well, what are the right words to use? And that's where understanding positive and negative politeness can help someone who's trying to figure out the right way to go about what might be a challenging interaction. So we're going to jump right in to a story to help me illustrate that. And it starts with our friends Tom and Betsy. Betsy is Tom's supervisor. Betsy has some work she needs to assign to Tom, and she knows he's not going to enjoy it. So the face-threatening act we're talking about here is Betsy telling Tom to do the work. And we can say that this is a negative FTA because it's threatening his right to be able to decide what he wants to do, his autonomy, his ability to spend his time how he wants to. So now we are back to our decision tree, and we'll start at the beginning to go right through the whole tree with the example. So if she wants to do it or decides not to do the FTA, then she's going to have to do it herself. But we've already established that she's the boss. She gets to make the decision. She decided Tom needs to do it. So that's not what's going to happen here. Now she could either go on record or off record, but it doesn't seem like the good strategy for her to do something like, "Oh, guys, well, we should probably go ahead and do XYZ and hope that Tom is going to self-select to be the person to do it and take the initiative." That's not a good strategy for leadership. That's a whole nother webinar. So now we're at the option of saying, well, we can be either direct, go baldly, and just say what, "Tom, I need you to do this," or we can try to be polite. Clearly here, we're hoping to be polite. So I came up with some examples of what positive and negative politeness might look like. So you can kind of see, okay, Kate, you're telling me that these are the strategies, but let's get down to it. What words do I actually say? And that's always the struggle when we're taking things from theory and putting it into practice. So a positive politeness approach will address his desire to be liked and appreciated. So I came up with this one. "Tom, you did such a great job on that spreadsheet last week. I would really appreciate it if you would take a stab at those pivot tables." Now, why is this positive? First, she's praising his previous efforts, which of course everyone likes to be complimented. That's a direct, addressing of his positive face. And also she's offering him thanks, which when you're doing that, it's an opportunity for you to show yourself as being someone's equal, to give them an opportunity to feel good. All of these, both the praise and the thank, are things that he can take away as she appreciates me, even though she's the one who's telling me to do these things. Pretty simple. Now, negative politeness, I think actually might be the one that is most useful in a lot of these managerial ones. But that is all just around addressing Tom's desire to be seen as independent and as an individual. We can talk about kind of why that is, but at the end of the day, I came up with, Tom, you are such an expert at Excel. I think you should take a first stab at those pivot tables. What would we do without you? So again, she is, instead of saying praise, she's highlighting his strengths and really acknowledging as an individual, this is something that he has that is different from everyone else, which is another opportunity too to emphasize his value to the team. So by keeping him as a separate individual with certain skills that others don't share, she's respecting his negative face while also asking him to do something. So that's just a really quick example of what positive and negative politeness might look like. And thank you so much for your time.